In Saline County, 2-ton trucks and split-level homes are ripped from their moorings, the debris scattering hundreds, even thousands of feet. And further south, in Arkadelphia, a small community is shattered in a matter of seconds. Incredibly, the day that ended like this began like this, with a blue sky and no hint of the storms to come.
Seemed like a nice day. I actually kind of had plans to clean my car and just do nothing.
2:25 Saturday afternoon, Arkadelphia resident Kenley Barksdale and her dog Spanky are home alone when weather officials broadcast the first warnings that a twister is headed their way.
This is a News 4 severe weather bulletin.
Just hot off the wire, brand new tornado warning.
Kenley's husband, Mickey, a town paramedic, is at the local hospital when the warning goes out. Around 2:30, he calls home to comfort Kenley, who has had a lifelong fear of tornadoes.
We have teased her so badly. I mean, I remember being in tornado watches and her just flying off the handle saying, "Get in the closet, get in the closet." We're like, just chill out, Kenley, you know, it's nothing's going to happen. How often does a tornado hit somebody?
I think everybody has their own irrational phobia, and this is kind of mine.
Initial reports indicate that the tornado is far from Kenley's home. But like most winter twisters, this one is moving quickly and unpredictably. The couple decides that Kenley should camp out in the bedroom closet until the storm passes.
It was growing and getting stronger and louder. It was like a giant concrete ball the size of a mountain rolling towards me. That's when I started to panic. I knew that was a tornado, and I knew it was coming right for me.
Tornadoes are spawned from highly organized thunderstorms called supercells. When warm, moist air passes under cooler air, differences in wind speed and direction create a tube of spinning winds called a vortex. Rain-cooled downdrafts of wind force the vortex to tilt and stand on its end. As the vortex meets the ground, friction forces the winds to spin tighter, creating a funnel that sweeps up everything in its path. Back in Arkadelphia, a large funnel zeroes in on Kenley's home. But just 6 blocks away, it's her father in his photography shop who sees the dark clouds first.
The wind was picking up, and I saw that the clouds were moving in funny directions. And so I decided I better go to cover.
And the next thing I heard was the roof starting to be ripped off. And then it was like an explosion. It was almost as if a bomb had hit. It was like a boom. And the wall behind me fell in on me and pushed my nose down to my feet where I was sitting. And I thought then, I'm gonna die right here. I could just die right here in this closet.
Winter tornadoes tend to move faster than summer tornadoes. Those tornadoes kill a larger number of people proportionately than the tornadoes in the spring do.
Harold Brooks, a tornado specialist at the National Severe Storms Laboratory, says winter weather, with its extreme shifts between hot and cold temperatures, can create the most dangerous tornadoes.
It appears that a larger fraction of the tornadoes that occur in the wintertime are violent, F4 and F5.
Now it's like coming towards us.
This is what an F5 looks like. The twister that hit Arkadelphia was only slightly smaller, an F4 on the scale of 5, with winds roaring up to 260 miles an hour. As it rages through Arkansas, it cuts a path as wide as 0.8 of a mile across a 100-mile section of the state, a path that leads right across downtown Arkadelphia. Kenley's husband knows nothing of the terror she is going through in the closet. His unit is dispatched to a nearby trailer park. At the scene, nothing has prepared him for what he sees.
We got around the corner and saw it, and it was just total devastation.
Moments later, a call.
They called over the radio and told me that that my neighborhood was wiped out. So I just couldn't believe it. I just thought, what if she's gone? What am I going to do? I lost the will to live for just a second.
Kenley's husband faces an incredibly difficult decision. He knows his wife was in the path of a tornado. His home was destroyed, but there are so many victims to treat. He has to stay.
I had to do my job while I was there, so I did what I could.
All across the region, tornadoes are touching down. The unusually prolific spree starts at 6 a.m. in Tennessee. The next 17 hours see more than 24 tornadoes touch down along a path covering hundreds of miles in Tennessee, Arkansas, and Kentucky. 60 miles north of Arkadelphia, on this back road, Joseph Brown is about to get the ride of his life.
I was driving down this street here, and I noticed there was high winds. And a second later, I noticed there was a cloud coming from this direction. It was white. It was lower to the ground.
Though it was smaller than the one which hit Arkadelphia, knowing that would be little comfort to the man now in its path.
It was smoking. And about that time, the windows inside of my truck shattered, blew up, sounded like a bomb. And a second later, it picked my truck up.
What are you thinking? Is it time for you to get out of the truck?
No, I laid there for maybe a half a minute, 30 seconds, and I could hear it going past me. And after I stopped hearing it going past me, I crawled out the truck.
Joseph soon learns he is the exception to the rule. Rarely do people meet a twister on open ground and escape without injury.
I'm feeling very lucky. I feel that I've been blessed by the good Lord.
But for those trapped under debris, like Kenley, the nightmare is far from over.
My first thought was, I'm trapped here, and no one's going to find me. I'm stuck here, and I'm not going to be able to get out.
This is what is left of Kenley's house. She is pinned beneath the boards and bricks that moments earlier had been her home.
That will to live kind of kicked in, and I decided I was going to do everything I could to get out. I couldn't sit there and think, who's going to save me from this? That wasn't my thoughts.
Close by, Kenley's father emerges from the rubble of his photography store. Again, the path of destruction has been arbitrary and cruel. A trailer flung by 260-mile-per-hour winds has smashed the front of his store.
Everybody was like me, just in a daze, because just moments before there'd been a town, and now it was just flattened.
He follows the path of devastation. It leads right to his daughter's front door.
I started running toward Kenley's house.
He's not the only one concerned. Friends of Kenley's know she was alone in the house, and they race to help her. But when they get there, they're afraid of what they'll find.
The house was so demolished, we didn't know if she was in here, if she would have made it. Didn't really want to find her, but we knew we had to keep looking, so we both kept looking.
Then their hearts skip a beat.
When I first got here, there was a wig laying under one of the walls, and it scared us pretty bad. I had a heart attack. we noticed it was just a wig, and we kept digging through it.
By now, word is out that people have died. What they don't know is that in Arkadelphia alone, 7 have died, 102 injured, and across Arkansas, 25 are dead, and more than 400 injured. They wonder, is Kenley among them?
We saw this picture when we first got here. It was sitting on top of all the debris. It wasn't a good sight.
What they don't know yet is that Kenley had pushed her way through the jagged, splintered beams and crawled to safety. Now she searches desperately for her father, who she fears may be dead.
We ran to each other, and it was the best feeling. It just brought such a peace to me that I realized that nothing else mattered. It just didn't matter. Once I saw him, I knew then, okay, we can go on now from here.
I was running, and she was running, and we were both crying. And she told me, but the first thing we told each other was how happy we were to see each other and how much we loved each other. And then she told me that the house was gone.
Tonight in Arkadelphia, the town is still reeling. 30 residents remain hospitalized. Reunited hours after the disaster, Kenley and Mickey are among the 1,100 survivors who are homeless, but together and alive.
You've lost your home, most of your material possessions. You have each other.
Yeah, we got it all. I am the richest man I know.
Local officials say the cleanup operation could take weeks, and it could be years before Arkadelphia recovers from the storm no one there will forget.
This is Dateline Wednesday for March 5th, with reports tonight from Dawn Fratangelo, John Larson, Len Cannon, and Frederica Whitfield. Still ahead, workers trapped in a cave-in, pinned by a 1-ton boulder.
This was not just to dig the body out, pull them up.
What could rescuers do to free them? The story when our Dateline Survivors Special continues.